Hello and welcome to some more Factorio. Switching series from yesterday to the blueprint series, where I'm trying to build myself a blueprint library, which is something I've never really done before. Just one second, just to the bit of any. Oh no, there is game audio. Sorry, looking at the wrong thing. Right, so let's get it loaded up. I haven't done anything on this for a while. I'll have to get myself caught up. Where's the blueprint series? There we go. On where I am and what I've done. Right, so. Hang on. Where's that not working? There we go. There we go. That's the badger. Yeah, well, it's Trismegistus, if I didn't say so already. Got a bit confused there. I say, this series, I'm trying to build some blueprints. So where did I get to? So we've got 8A there. I seem to recall I did actually... That's exactly the same one, isn't it? No, it isn't. Okay. I think I was messing about with it. Like, testing it, basically. Oh, okay, so we got... Huh. Righto. Okay. So, this is the initial base, isn't it? And then I've obviously tested that out. So it's been weeks and weeks since I sort of did anything on this, so apologies for being a bit confused by my own thing. Okay. Green circuits there. Okay. And then we'd moved on to the bus. Right. Okay. So that's already... I haven't done circuits, I don't think, have I? So we could do that at some point. Oh, and of course plastic builds and all those sorts of things. Okay. Now I think I'd done red and green science, like to completion as it were. So if we make... I'm not sure what's in these. I don't think anything important as it were. So that's smelting. Is that in there as well? Yeah, that looks the same to me. Okay. So I think I was just using them, I was testing them out basically. Did I put some of those in? Automation. Bus science. Okay, so we got same stuff. Yeah. Okay. And have I archived 8A in case I make a mess of it? I have. Okay. I haven't. I was going to have a look and see where I was. I'll just assume that I've not got anything that needs doing with them. Yeah. If I have, I don't know what it was, so I don't know what I'm losing, so that's no problem. But I was fiddling about with the Dyson Sphere program this morning, rather than catching up on this, because I want to finish it tomorrow. I want to finish that series and build the Dyson Sphere. I did some maths, and it was very apparent that I wasn't going to make it. It was going to take about 10 hours to put all the solar sails in. So I massively ramped up the amount of solar sail launching. And it should now fit into the stream. So tomorrow's Dyson Sphere program stream will be the last for a while, when I finish off the Dyson Sphere, and we can do the mission complete research in the time as well. So effectively ending the game. Ow. Right, so I say we've done... Why is that? Okay. Okay, I remember. Yeah, I did these upgradey ones. Okay, yeah. So I'm doing a basic one. Right, so if we pop that out again, I think that's what I already had, isn't it? So we pop that out again. We can put that one there. And we can work on this. Okay, so presumably, that's upgraded automation. Science upgrade 2, automation final. Right, so that's like the basic version of red science. Let's just plop it down. Yeah, okay. Okay, and it's actually got modules in it. Okay, no problem. Right, I think I know where I am. Next one then would be blue science. Now, was I lining them up with the power poles? I don't think I was as such. No. Okay, so we'll just build it next to it, I guess. So what we kind of ultimately need is... Oh, this wouldn't be... I guess we can go blue to start with, can't we? In fact, let's pop down that one just as sort of a reference point for how I'm doing things. Okay. So I'm actually doing the science first there. But here I'm doing it second because I'm expanding them. Okay. Okay. So it sort of doesn't matter because we could do military or we could do blue science. I mean, we'll do both, but what I mean, I guess military is first technically. But it's all pretty independent stuff, so there's not much we can carry over, I don't think, between the two, if that makes sense. So, you know, it's not like this where cogs were used in, you know, the actual science and the two, you know, and in the inserters and the belts. So we can effectively just start from zero, as it were. So I guess what we really want to do, I guess the first thing you would want to build is the actual sort of military stuff. So perhaps if we build them first. Okay. So if this was... What would we need to build first? I mean, ammo is usually sort of the first thing you'd want to build. But we could do, say, grenades or walls. I mean, walls are only stone brick. And those are presumably on the bus somewhere. Yeah, so we've got stone brick being made. There is coal. Obviously iron and copper and steel. Somewhere here. Wait. Is it me or is steel missing from the blueprint? Oh dear. That's a bit of an error. Red circuits. Wow, okay. There's no steel on the bus. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. There is no steel on the bus. Huh. I'm wondering if... I mean, 3 lanes of plastic is bonkers, isn't it? That can't be right. Let's have a look and see if... I say apologies again that this is a bit higgledy-piggledy. So if we take that blueprint, what's it got in it? So we've got the fluids one, belts. Yeah, so this is wrong, isn't it? So I seem to remember doing a calculator. But whether it's... Why have we got no steel? So my suspicion is that there should be 2, not 3 plastic, but 2 steel and 1 plastic. But I'll have to investigate that later, I think. Okay, let's get on with this. Let's actually do something. So it really loses momentum when you don't do one of these for a while. Okay, so if we wanted to make, say that should be a green, blue assembler, not green. I guess I could... Yeah. So, let's start from first principles. So we would be making military. Now, I usually don't make military at the same rate as I make regular sciences. So in other words, where these are set up to do, you know, in quotes, 2 a second. So it's 6 seconds, so there's 12 machines. I would normally do these at a rate of... you know, 1 a second basically, because you don't need as much military as you do everything else, and it's only occasional, you know, usage basically. So if it's a 10-second crafting time with 2, you know, 2 per craft, then we only really need 5 machines. So, what we can actually do is maybe do 6, just because that's even. So we would need 6 of them. Okay. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to bring something up one side. I guess it would be yellow belt, would it? Yeah. Something up one side, something up the other side, something up the middle, and then output there. Fairly standard procedure. Are they lined up? Yeah. So, okay. If that then is military science, we need... So if we're making 1 science pack a second, effectively, then we need 1 wall, half a grenade, and half a piercing round of ammo. But this is where, because you need so many of these, you just make them at the rate as if we were making 2, and then we can stick the excess in chests, basically. Is the theory that I usually go for. So, which first? There isn't, you see, one of the problems, there isn't that much commonality of ingredients, so you can't really stick them together. They just end up sort of taking more room on the bus, really. So if this was the eventual, you know, whatchamacallit, along here somewhere. In fact, let's sort of line it up properly. So it would be there for them. Don't need that one. Cool. So we would need that to be coming along there. Maybe it's a split one. Going up there. So we need a... Have I really put these this close to the power poles? I have, haven't I? That's a bit annoying. Okay. So what's a... Okay, sort of a split there. I mean, we could do one of them. Underground that. Put that up the middle. Oops. And then that's the across one. It's a bit tidier, isn't it? And then, how am I doing this? Generally doing undergrounds. Coming in and out. Okay. So if we do underground there. So I don't know how much I'm... So I'm just taking it past the point where the power pole is. So actually that needs to be one further back. Like that. So this would be military science coming out. We would have lights on it, presumably. And doing sort of a zigzag pattern. Okay. And then we presumably got one of each of those. And one of those. And then, am I going straight for, yep, straight for blue inserters. So we want insertion, exertion, like that. Okay, so that's all ready to go. So the next one then is, well, I guess probably grenades, maybe. No, let's do the walls as the first thing. I mean, we could potentially save a bit of space by like dual siding them, because I think we only need. Oh, is that not? Well, I suppose. Does that not reach then? What have I done here? Oh, because I knew that I wouldn't need to do anything up the side there. Okay. So if we did say walls on one side, and because what's the ratio? Sorry, because it's no, it's 2 walls and 1. Okay, so really it would be. I mean, that could work. We could do ammo. I mean, it'd be obviously. Sorry, Maybe that ammo first. Because it's like 3 to 1, isn't it? Oops. Oops. So some stuff going on there. Am I going to need to bring it up the side? Probably. Because the trouble is we need quite a few inputs, basically. Because this one needs iron plate. Whoops. This one needs iron plate, right? And we could double-side that with coal. So we could have... So I think you end up needing, is it 8? Granata? Because they're iron and coal. And then this is just iron. Whoops. But then that needs iron, you know, the magazines, steel and copper. So we would potentially need, say... I mean, I could flip them round. We could have this one first. And then it could go next to it. Like that. And then we have a line up in the middle. This might get a little complicated. So this is a mixed... Have I not got those on? So this is like a mixed iron and coal. So what would it be? It would be in there. So it's iron and coal. Because that's what they need just all the way along. Would it be the other way? It would be the other way around, wouldn't it? And then, so that'd be output there, I guess. That. It's very slow to make grenades. And then this is on this side. And it pinches some... This one pinches some iron. How would I get... Because I need 2 lanes, don't I? Because what I'm thinking, that lane, you see, goes out on that lane. But I need some way of bringing this to all 3 of those. Because that, unfortunately, means beacons wouldn't reach on this side. So, can we do something in the middle? I mean, I don't even have to do that. We could just make stone brick on this other side. Because then we have, you know, however many stone brick machines. And second thing on this side, that is stone brick. And then it doesn't have any inputs on this side, but it has outputs. Do that. Just that that's then a shared... I mean, it doesn't matter because it's lowish volumes, I don't think. Should be okay. And then, obviously, we then have, eventually, some there. And then we've got more room to play with here, basically, so we can bring... I mean, what could we do? We could do... Just rethink that all together. So, if it was lined up here... So if this was that one, would that make most sense? No, probably better if it was the armor piercing on this side. In fact, if that's the output, I mean, we could go nuts, basically, and then have, like, loads of piercing ammo production. So we're going to need a way to get power across there, I guess. But I suppose that's right next to it, isn't it? So we could power from there. So if we bring, say, what? Say iron plate up there. But then we could do an exchange one, couldn't we? So we could do a iron plate only goes up to there and it gets output there. And then this is that. It works relatively well with the power poles as well then. I say we kind of double up ammo production. Maybe. So that's then another iron plate line. Oops. Okay. And that way, you know, if you're working with, you know, a lot of biter attacks going on, you're getting loads of piercing ammo now. Like this. That does reach, and that does reach then. Oops. Okay. And this is... Doesn't really matter which way around it is, I suppose, but that's the steel... let's make it even at least. Steel and copper. And then you need that, don't you? Okay. Am I putting... I am. Okay. I'm putting modules in everything from the get-go. Why are you not? Oh, I can't put prod modules in that, can I? Oops. Can I put prods in there? No. What about there? No. No. So none of these take prod modules. Okay. Oh, and I've just thrown one on the ground. Okay. So, let's have a look at the numbers. I bet I've messed that up somewhere. So net machines is good, basically. So we've got enough yellow firearms to feed all of our red firearms. Grey is happy. Is it better on seconds? We've got like one extra grenade machine, so we'll always be able to put grenades in a chest. We've got one a little bit extra stone walls, so we can always put stone walls in a chest. We've got 3 and a bit extra piercing rounds, so we'll be able to put loads of piercing rounds in a chest. Okay, I like that. Now, have I been actually... One of the things I did think... I didn't really put any of these in chests. So I thought maybe I could eventually do a thing where you can do a plop over the top where you can put chests in if you wanted. Because the thing is, although I'm using yellow belt in this, you know, you've actually teched up to the degree that you've already got bots. Well, I've teched up to the degree that I've already got bots by the time I'm even making this. So, you know, it's like, it's almost for form's sake, you know, that you're using yellow belt. Okay. Right. So the idea of putting these 2 in chests is a bit irrelevant because you've got blue ins. In fact, you know, the blueprints are made with blue inserters already. So, you know, putting those in a chest and those in a chest is would be a bit daft. You know, a bit unnecessary. So, you know. But these, of course, we do want to go in a chest. And I think what we can do is we can actually make it part of the build from the get-go. So it's not just an overlay These I'm thinking an overlay, you know, in case you want to put them in a chest sort of thing, you can add that on. But these, it's just a default part of the build, I think. Yeah. And we'll tack it on the end. And how do we want to do it? So, which one am I getting up where for the starters? So at the moment, we've got them coming up the middle. And then ammo, presumably, is going to be on the side. So have I aligned that with the... No, so it's there wherever possible. And then the output one in? No. Okay. I've been inconsistent, haven't I? So the red one, they're one tile off. These, they're two tiles off. It doesn't matter, but it would be better if I was consistent, I guess. So if we do this here then, so that needs to be a, oops, an iron and coal line. Now do I do it like this and pre-mix it for you? Or for me? I think that makes the most sense. Okay, so... Oh. Oh dear. Cool. So in other words, it's not that. It's one iron. I guess it's probably going to be coal. And that's going to be iron. But it mixes in. Because I kind of imagine, what would this be? This would be the underground. Where's the room for balancing? It's a bit tight, isn't it? So perhaps if we move that up, which means that that's got to go under there. Actually put it there, I think. So that was the mixed line, wasn't it? So we need... What do we need? We need filter inserters, which I don't appear to have. Okay. Put them on. Yeah. And then do something like that and that. Now, is it making... Because this is the other thing I haven't really properly thought about is roboports. Because they end there. So really we need roboports here. And I'm not going to... the trouble is making the same mistake again of... Or I'm not... Well, I suppose I'm not actually. But making the sort of same mistake again of... Like I've done on the Factorio series. Where I've misaligned that, because really they should go there, but I can't put it there because I put a blooming light on it. So what was I doing? So if these weren't here, then that'd be fine. Okay. So this needs to be stone brick. So this would be your stone brick. Am I going to need... Probably going to need more inserters to support that, to be honest with you. So that's the iron and coal for the grenades. That's the stone brick. That needs iron, doesn't it? So that's iron. And that's also iron. Then this needs to be our one that's coming across. Okay. See that one? What's that one, isn't it? Like that. So that comes down there. So this needs to be a mixed copper and steel line. Okay. Lights in the way. Okay. So I'm not happy that there's not really enough room for balancing. Because that would be... Because the... Well, it's just enough room, isn't it, I guess? Yeah, it's just enough room. Okay. Okay. So that's iron for you. You've then got... you need to be copper. Well, you'd probably be steel. And you'd be copper. Those two coming in there. Grab from there. Right. Okay, so that's... Oh, need the chesticles. Right, so these would need to be... grenades. And... walls. Grenades and walls. And then that needs a grenades filter. Which of course is in military. Why I'm struggling to find that, I don't know. And then that needs to be a walls filter. And then these are ammo. And this needs to be logistics network. The grenades. Grenades is less than 100. Just a stack basically. That. And then this is the... Oops. Connect that. This is that walls is less than... Let's do like 1,000. And then this is grenades. Nope, this is ammo. And let's make that 2,000. It's got a filtron, it's got a filtron, 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 filtron. 1,000, 1,000, 2,000, 2,000, 100, 100. Excellent. Okay. Let's blueprint that one then. So this is the military science. I mean, we could... Yeah. That could go to tidy that up. That could go, that could go. Right, that's the output, isn't it? Cool. So this is... military science. And... blue machines. I don't know if I've done the symbols. Nope. Put this in here. So it's like the basic one. So I put a number 1 on it as well by the looks of things. So this is military. Basic. Am I going to bother with them? I mean, that one is literally just an upgrade, but I have to fiddle about. I can just do them myself. It's basically, it's the same idea that it goes up to, you know, this next version up is red belts and extra things in, but level 2 as well, and blah blah blah. So I'm not too fussed about really doing that exactly now. I think, yeah, these would work there. And it does then cover that thing. Okay, so eventually it becomes a logistic... sorry, a beaconed... Wait, did that... I moved one tile, didn't I? There you go. A beacon build. So there's a load of beacons there. Oh, you know, however many. Right, and the next one we go for is blue science. Right, so blue science is... Oh, we don't have a power pole connecting, do we? Okay. So we need a power pole in the blueprint. Because it's disconnected at the moment. So it's all of this again. Except I didn't correct those on the build. I just did it on the blueprint. So let's do them again. Because there would be no power connection between those two. I mean, I suppose technically it's connected there, but if we just make sure it is connected in and of itself. Yeah, okay. Yes, so blue science then. Everything changes. So we go for chemical packs. Well, everything changes. Everything upgrades, basically. So the sulfur and the advanced circuits will be on the bus, okay? Because that's how I do my buses. So the only thing we need to make new is engines. Quite how engines... I mean, I suppose they do, in a sense, that is a chemical, you know, you're burning, well, you're exploding petrol sort of thing. Although, of course, in Factorio you can stick anything that's burnable in an engine. But I guess maybe then they're diesel engines, technically. But although a diesel engine doesn't really run on wood. But anyway, point is that you don't put any fluids into engines, even though they're part of chemical science, which always strikes me as a bit odd. But obviously what you need is sulfur and plastic. So anything we need to make is engines, okay? Because the other two will be on the bus. So what we can do is work out... So if we want to go to a second again, then we need 24 machines. And say this is, as many people have noted, this is where the scale goes kind of off the chart, really. Might be better if I did... So if we end up with the blue science up at this end, maybe, rather than... So I can put the engine production here, basically. And then the actual blue science is over here, and then it's connected to a pylon more directly. So it'll be wherever it ends up being, obviously. But we need 2, 4, 6, oops, 8, 10, 12, 24. And we'll have, well, what will we have? I guess output will be sort of there, but we could have the red circuits and... What's the ratios on it? So you need 3 advanced circuits and 2 engines. And only 1 sulfur. But it's quite slow, so... let's do the right numbers on it. Why did I switch it to seconds? Oh, of course they're 0.75, aren't they? But yeah. So we would need... Yeah. 2 to 1. So if we need... Huh. Oh, it's seconds, right. Yeah, so it doesn't matter how we put them together, basically. Get myself confused. But it doesn't matter, you know, we're not going to saturate it, but it's only purple, really, where that starts to happen. We have belt issues, essentially. Amount that's on a belt, basically. Right, so we could have maybe the engines coming up the middle and the other 2 on the sides, maybe? I mean, it'd be better if... No, yeah, we'll have the, you know, the red and the sulfur coming up the middle. So actually, probably better if that's all the other way round. Like that. So I don't actually know where it's going to be, but this is roughly what it will sort of look like. Right. Other way around. I'm wondering if I should be a bit more... Oh, why have I not put on the other side? A bit more consistent with the old... which one's on the inside and which one's on the outside with these, because I've sort of done it randomly. Which is fine in this circumstance, but might prove a bit confusing when filling out. But then the idea is that the bots are actually going to build all this. So... Oops. Chuck one on the floor again. And then... that one. Oops. Chuck it on the floor again. Yeah. Cool. So it's inconsistent which is which. Brilliant. How's it done that then? Oh, it's because I did them the opposite way around, isn't it? Oh. Right, okay, fine. Yeah, so whatever that ends up being like, this would be the engines. Engine. This. Okay, so what we need to do, in fact, let's just move this up and out of the way. But we know that's what it needs to be. So, engines then. Engines are steel, which will be on the bus, having established that... I'm hoping I've just messed up the plastic, and I put 3 plastic on for some reason. And instead I meant 2 steel. But you're going to have to extend the bus sideways. That'll be a little bit painful. Right, so... I mean, thank God for creative mode, eh? Right, so we need steel, which I say is on the bus. Then we need pipes and gears. So what we can do is just have my standard arrangement, essentially, of pipe and gear production. And we'll do the maths in a minute. Oops, what happened there? Like that. And then we have iron plate going that way. Steel pipes going that way. Although, I guess at some point, maybe there'd be a big bacon there. Oops. More useful for the science than these, to be honest with you. Okay. Okay, now, how many engines do we actually need? So, if we're making one of those a second, then we've got, well, we're making 2 of those a second, sorry. So, we need 24. So we need, basically, we're making 2 a second. We need 4 engines per second, I think. Which is quite a lot because they're so slow. So that says coming up. Yeah. Let's just do that. Oops, missed that. Because aren't they 8 seconds each? No, 10 seconds each. Okay. So we need 40? That doesn't sound right. I think we need 2 a second, don't we? So no, 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Doesn't sound quite right. So going to that with 3 engines down, but we know that we've not got... We can't put... Oh, we can. Okay. I thought you couldn't put them in there. I imagine I'm surprised by that every time I try. And then these would have these in by default. Because we can't do... I know we can for the gears, but we can't for them? No. Okay. So what does that look like now? Yeah, so we got one engine too many. In theory. Got half a pipes too many. Technically got one gears too many. That's interesting. Okay. So I need to hook everything up. So this would be there, I guess. Because we have pipes on that side. In fact, what's the ratios? 2 pipes. So it might be better. And it's quite a lot of steel stat there if we do. If steel was there, output came there. Okay. So that's going to be steel. This will be the engines themselves. Now, was I going to put them... I was, wasn't I? So we're going to split them there, but... need to move this into position. So it needs to be there. So if that's coming out there... Actually, probably better do it one further down. Do that there. And then if this is 2 lanes coming in there, then we can just hop that over. Get that there. And then that's eventual beaconage there. Don't suppose a power line would fit somewhere nicely in there, would it? Okay. That's not bad. Gonna have a problem though of powering those, aren't we? Probably gonna have that power problem later on as well. Oh, excuse me. But then I don't think I'm adding beacons until I start using... No, so beacons come in with the complete rework when we start using the substations, so it doesn't matter basically. Cool. That wouldn't have made sense to anybody except me, but there we go. Right, so this needs to be iron plate. Where do we want to put these indicators? So this would be there for iron plate. Then that would be steel. That'd be those two. Gonna have a little bit of trickiness here, aren't we? What we could do is maybe move this back again. Ah. Okay. Maybe move it back one more. No, it's going to be ugly no matter what, isn't it? Because I don't want it going that way. Oh well. Just going to have a kink in it. Okay, so what do these actually... This is the blue. This is the blue. Then... This must be... which way around are they? So... Sulfur is outside. Okay, so that's likely to be at the top. Like that. And that goes there. Actually blue coming out. Might just move that down a bit so it's a bit more visually distinct. Actually blue coming out. That needs to be steel. Okay, now I need to hook all of this up. Like so. Okay. Why don't I just pinch that? Which way round is that correct? I think that's correct, isn't it? Super duper. Right. That. Okay. Feels like something isn't connected somewhere, but I'm not sure what. Okay, let's maths it again. Yeah, so we're producing excess engines. So that's fine, basically. Okay. So the question here then is, do we also want a little bit of a sneaky chest of engines? Because we, in theory, if I end up putting some roboports on these, and that's fine, but it's not in the network. So if I put it on the end, you see, it wouldn't be in the network. Unless, you know, unless I added a roboport here. But we could put a little cheeky one here. Or here even, maybe? Oh, go on. It's always nice to have some engines just being, you know, put in, because the sort of things you need for pumps, but you don't really think about it until you need them, because I don't generally make pumps. So connect you to the logistics network. Engines less than 50. I should be testing these really, but I'm not. Lights, that's what I forgot. I didn't put any lights on the military one either, did I? Oh, I put them there. In fact, I didn't even put the lights on the chests. In fact, let's put those there. So, am I zigzagging? Am I doing zigzags? Always start at the... Nope, not even consistent with that. I mean, you know, we want to be consistent. So I guess something like that, maybe. And then there, and we can redo the military one. Again. In fact, if we're going to redo it, let's correct the belt overshoots and stuff. I'm going to keep doing that. Okay. So, let's redo this. Which is all of this. Down to there. Cool. And then we want to do... In fact, let's fix it up properly first. So, let's put the lights on here. And here. Then here. Cool. Make sure the belts are sort of evened off. Excellent. Like that. So this is blue. Made with blue machines. Super duper. So this is chemical basic. Chemical basic. I mean, all the upgraded ones, it's basically me using the upgrade planner there. So it's not really much point doing it. It's just that you need to add in extra, when you go to greens and stuff, you need to add extra things. And then this is reworked altogether, to be honest with you. So, upgrade planner's a little bit pointless for that one, but there you go. Right then, so next would be either purple or yellow. I usually do purple first. So I might as well continue that. So that would be where the row of bacons would be. Okay. Now, purple. Purple, purple, purple. Purple. Okay. See, this is where it gets a bit bonkers, because you need to produce an insane amount of rail given what you got to do. So you do get 3 per craft, so that's good. But it means it's 10 rails per, per craft time, basically. So 10 rails every 7 seconds is quite hefty, because it's more than 1 a second. Now they do, they only take half a second each, I think. But yeah, it's quite a lot of stuff to produce. So we would need 7 machines, 2 for 5, to do 1 a second. So we actually want twice that. So just make the appropriate gap. And we'll do same as we always do. Some up the middle, some at the edge, and given we need to load in so much rail, we'll do rail at the outside, and then the other 2 in the middle. And I guess this is just going to be an underground with this. What have I done with undergrounding in other places? I've literally only hopped it over the 2, okay. That's a choice. In fact, given we're going to have to put rail going this way, probably better if it is like that. So this is going to be the purple coming out. Purple coming out. And then standard arrangement, I guess, so I can just copy up all of that business. That way around, I think. Yeah. Copy them. Oh, what? Why is that not? Oh, it's because I've picked an uneven number, haven't I? There we go. Like that. Okay, so this is, excuse me, this is what we need to feed in. So we're going to need rail going this way. Probably end up with like 2 lanes of rail, basically. I think that's what we need, even. So we're going to also need room, okay, somewhere to put the, perhaps then, oops, that was an underground for that one, and this can be the Yeah, so we'll have the modules and the things on this lane eventually. So we then want rail being made here. It's fairly complicated because we need iron, sticks, stone and steel. What's the ratio? Oh, it's just 1:1. Okay. So it sort of doesn't matter what we put on where, but we need quite a few of these outputting. So, how am I going to do this? Because I don't think you actually need that many machines, so we do need 3 more. Oh, that, although I haven't put... We put these in first. Why did it not... Oh, it's put him in there, isn't it? Okay. In fact, can't I just copy and paste it? No? No. Okay. What a pain in the bum. I suppose it is. I bet there's a key you can hold, like an old shift or something, and it'll put them in the machines rather than put them in, you know, in the crafting slot maybe. Did I get them all? I did. Now you can't put... No, you can only put speeds in those. Okay. Now, what does that look like? Yeah, so we're still down by 3 machines. So it does get a bit nuts, really, when you start to get into these sort of higher level ones. Oh, I didn't put all the things in. So yeah, we're still short. Okay. I mean, what I could do some direct insertion, couldn't I? There's only 6 in the end. How would that work? So if we did iron sticks. Oh. Direct inserted in there. I mean, potentially we could do a... And then, I mean, I could have the iron plate for those coming that way. This would be doubling up. Oops. What does... Oh, in fact, they're missing... Can I get prods in them? Oh, I can. Okay. Always want a bit of free stuff. Gotta get a bargain. Yeah, they don't take prods, do they? No. So what does that look like? Yeah, because you don't actually need 1-to-1, because they're like half, aren't they? So if we just did... you feeding 2, what does that look like? What does that look like? No, half a machine short, you see. I wonder if speeds would help instead of prods. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Right. So, I mean, because I'm wondering about doing yeah. No. Because we could do the iron plate up the middle, you see, but... Because this then needs steel and stone. But we need to output to two belts, basically. Because they do produce very, very quickly. I mean, I could do it, you see. What we could do is we could have one doing this. Why is that uneven? Oh, because that's differently positioned, okay. In fact, you wouldn't need that one. And then this feeds iron plate in here, you see. And then we could have... In fact, would that go to there? That would be a little bit tidier, wouldn't it? So if I did it on that side... Oops, that side. Wait, confuse myself. So... that's like that. And then how are you... you get that there. Why is that not aligned? That should be... da-da-da. Oh, it's the middle one that's wrong. Okay. That should be there. Let's get some blooming power poles on. Stop it flashing. Right. There we go. So we then have inserted there. Oops, there. Yeah, so we could bring, say, stone brick, you see, up one of those. And then all we need is steel. I mean, it could be a half and half lane. And that way, what would be a sort of neat way of doing it? So if I was to try and put, I could move those. Don't imagine I could get all the power poles? No. But what we could do is move that up one. They're all powered, but then I'm gonna have to do some kinking with that. That's fine. And then, oops. Can I not put that closer together? No. Well, I could, but didn't quite work. Okay. Or could I... Because we want that on there. And then we could have... So actually, if I did that, and that, do I really need 2 lanes? This might be a case where we need some testing. Okay, let's do some testing. So, What are we saying? We're saying this is just iron plate, aren't we? So that's just iron plate. No. I'm going to need a void chest here somewhere. Because you also need... So if this up here somewhere... Oops. Is level 1s and furnaces. Oh wait, they're not going in the right place, are they? So it should be that one. I can sort the belts out later, but that gives them. And then, in theory, that's actually underground, that. So what are you missing? You're missing... what's it missing? Oh, stone. And steel. Cool. Oh, hello, not Raven. Testing is good, better than setting things up and finding out your build is wrong later. Yeah, yeah. Welcome back. Are you doing okay? Right. So I'm not convinced I need the 2 lanes. I'm not sure why I thought I did. But we'll have a see. Have a see what it does. I mean, we might probably need stacks on them anyway, don't we? Why are you not making... Oh. So it's not running out of bits and pieces there. There is enough stuff getting up here, you see. So it's not getting stone. Is that just because it's taking a while to chunk through? Yeah, and these aren't even at all, are they? Oh, and that's possibly what, or part of it. So then, put that through there. So yeah, if it was 2 lanes, it would be more like that, wouldn't it? Right. Just let it run through for a little bit. Yeah. It's because it needs so many, and it also does the whole thing of... I think you can set these to not put in, you know, the double stack thing somehow, can't you? But I can never remember how to do it. Oh, I'm not. Oh, it's a missing bit about there. So I just have to wait for it to chunk through. Because it's a steady state we're interested in, not the, you know, it's filled it up and ought to start with, as it were. It'll take a while to get through. And the other option is we just start with a build that is red belt, or I just start with a build that is just red belt from the beginning. Right, so these are now getting to a stage where they're doing secondary and tertiary cycles. But stuff has reached the end here. But are you starving? You're not starving, but you're not getting... Okay, there you are. So there's not a lot getting through here, but then I messed this up like you wouldn't believe. So this one's virtually not outputting. So let's just have this be a bit simpler. So if that was something like that. What have I done there? I've gotten rid of that. But you're all full of stuff, are you? No, no, you're okay. Out of steel. Steel again. I think this is slightly too many machines, isn't it? Yeah, so it's two-ish too many machines. Because I was thinking maybe we'll put the excess in the chest again. But so that's all backed up there, which is not good. We could obviously have this be a balance thing. To send it wherever. Because this is starved and this is overstuffed. Always remember purple being a pain in the bum when you're just working with yellow belt. Because you're not even running now, are you? Okay. Okay, so this one is just not getting anything. And then this is not outputting properly. And this is not even working. Okay. So that's not gone well. Right. Let's rethink it. What could we do? I mean, one of the simple answers, get rid of all this, is that we just double-side it, as it were, from the beginning. Rather than try and be too clever. That. So in other words, we've got output on that side as well. In fact, it would need to be there. Wait, did I flip that or rotate? Oh, I flipped it, didn't I? I rotated it and flipped it. Okay. So you all need to go the other way around. There we go. Yeah. I mean, that's going anyway. So this can go where? There? No. There? Not sure if you're still there, Nightro. Are you still playing Bobs and Angels, or you moved on to something else? I mean, your YouTube series is still going, but I don't know if you've just pre-recorded a load of it or not. So now, you see, now it's only really producing like half as much, or it's, got only half the demand on it, so a single bit of yellow should suffice, basically. Get rid of all that. Right, so this needs all rethinking eventually, doesn't it? So we'll just get rid of that. And now I can do the old trick. Like that. For one thing. Oh, have I not got any stacks on the... Okay. I mean, I could... It's a little sort of cheating in a sense of doing them, because I've not built proper... How would I be doing it? I mean, I guess I would be doing other builds as well. Because I normally build all of the science like at one end. Well, apart from white science, obviously. And this doesn't make any stack inserters, I don't think. Still playing Bobs and Angels. Sure can take a while to get through everything else. Yeah, I say, I confess not watching everything, but dipping in out of your YouTube series, and it is quite complicated, isn't it? It's I've been playing Factorio 2, which is like a light I'm sure you. I mean, guessing you've probably played it, but a sort of a light, overhaul mod, and that's already. I bet there's a lot of it I can just reuse standard, vanilla stuff, ideas that I've done, but the bits that are new, quite minimal, and that's a lot more complicated for me anyway. So yeah, this doesn't have stack inserters in it, does it? It's got fasts and longs. It doesn't have stacks. So using stacks at this stage is a bit sort of like, not cheating, but a bit sort of, well, you'd have to build the stack inserter build first, and that's probably not how I would do it. So perhaps it's like an explosion of long-handed, explosion of fast rather than stacks is the way that works, maybe. So how would I best do this? So I did want that there. So if this was the 2 of those, was there any point putting another splitter on there? Probably not. And then this is the modules coming the other way, and we would need, maybe if I get rid of all that rubbish and sort of line them up there. So that's just regular old iron plate. But this one needs to be a combined stone and steel. So how would that actually work? In fact, if I'm doing that, I don't actually need that to be next to it. We could just rethink the power poles a bit. Instead, like that. I was rather good doing chemistry in high school, so it does help playing with Bobs and Angels. So, all right. Is it fairly realistic from that? I mean, obviously, it's not realistic in that, in that sense, to that degree, as it were, I guess. But does it feel realistic enough, as it were, to help that out? If you see what I mean. Because Factorio 2, it does a thing with like nitrogen and stuff. Oh, which is it? I think it gets chlorine out of sand and water, and it's a bit sort of like, how does that work? It doesn't make sense. So I suppose the difficulty of this is that I'm then not going to be able to beacon it, am I, if I do this? I mean, these are so fast anyway. It's like, is that really an issue? He's always put, a couple of beacons in there, maybe? As the eventual sop to that. So we could maybe extend this down. If that's the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So, oops, put that too far over, haven't I? But there could be a couple of rows of beacons effectively here for the eventual, beacon version. But it renders them a bit point. I mean, there's no real point beaconing them. But that's fine. And I guess we could have one in there as well. Get your bacons in. Get your bacons in. How would the power poles work? No, that'll be fine, I think. Yeah. And I could always double it up in the late, you know, the sort of later version. And this doesn't need to be undergrounds anyway. Or maybe if I left it as undergrounds. If I did increase it. I'm confused. There we go. Oh, these yeah. Not happy with that. So let's put that one there. And that one there. So then that's the iron plate? Yeah. Cool. So that's going to need to be undergrounded. So we'll move this back again. So the underground's there. But I've messed that up. No. Let's just leave it there. What am I trying to achieve with the power piles? Because there would be another set. So if this was copied, would it just drop over the top? No, it wouldn't, because of the power piles. So I put that one too close, haven't I? So actually it needs to be... Nope. Needs to be there. And then either... Yeah, do that. So power poles now are there, and there, and there, and there. Oops. Well, a couple of them don't quite line up to what's happens in but quite a few of them do make sense. Cool. So I've been playing Factorio 2 and enjoying it more than I was expecting to, so I'm sort of wondering whether I should give... Where would that would go there? You know, give a sort of Bobs and Angels a go type of thing. I think I'd only do one at a time. You know, do sort of Bobs or Angels. I mean, which one would you recommend? You know, do one of sort of thing. So that makes that even, doesn't it? Feels like I'm trying to think in 4 dimensions. I mean, I could just do the extra ones, but... In fact, why don't I? Because it's massive overproduction that the belts can't support, so it's pointless. Okay, but these two need flipping over, don't they? Because this actually should be stone and steel. And that should go there. And that should go there. So we'll take them out. In fact, would I be better off? Because if I did move that up, I could put that on the other side. And then I wouldn't have this ugly... Yeah, let's do that then. So, if I move that to there... Oops. Oops. So, oops. Like that. So then you go there. You go there. Like that. And we don't need that power pole either. In fact, we could just cut that off. And it'd be totally happy. Super. Okay, so that's the rail. I mean, I say, in theory there'd be beacons there, but that's so massive overkill for them. Guess it depends on whether what I decide to put next really is again needing a beacons, because we need level 1 prods. Because what I'm thinking with this, because I would usually build a separate rail build, but I think, is it overkill? Yeah, so we got sort of 2 machines over. And I could do the old thing of sticking them on the end, maybe? Oops. Although it'd be this end. But then, is it covered by the... by them? No, it wouldn't be, would it? No, so it'd need to be here if I wanted to put some of the rail in the chests. And we could also then put the other 2 in the chest, couldn't we? Maybe not the level 1 beacons. And then I don't have to make them separately, you see. Because I tend to end up doing that as like big production overkill for no real reason. So you see that's green and red circuits. So then we could have them coming up the middle, because that then uses red circuits. And we could have steel coming that way, and whatever else it needs. Steel and stone. So we have sort of a combi green and red there. So I need that to be a blended line, didn't I? I was doing that before. Nope. I got distracted. Like that. So... oh. And then, well, as I say, in the assumption that the error I've made here is putting 3 plastic rather than 2 steel in a plastic, the stone is going to be further out than the steel. So this would be the steel. Oops. And this would be the stone. I'd say which is better. I find Bob's and Angels more realistic when it comes to smelting metals. But Factorio does keep a lot of the original building in the game, along with some upgraded buildings. Cool. Have you ever given like Pyanodons or C block a go? I think they're even more extreme, aren't they? It's my understanding. Why is that not aligned? Oh right, that's gone in by 1. Huh. Well, I guess it doesn't matter because thing, but oh, that's the benefit of creative mode. We just move it over 1 tile, no problem. Cool. And then, so how many? I can do rods in those, can't I? No. In those? No. Okay. Now you tell me. Right. So, we would need another... Crikey, 2... Really? That's interesting. I normally only build 2 of those. seems to be saying we need 4. Diddly bob. Oh, I didn't put that. Huh. Okay. That might explain why my purple doesn't usually run. Okay. Interesting. What is that? Yeah. So that's slightly over now. So we're planning to I'm planning to stick those in a chest. We would need another 6 or 7 of those. Okay. So 2. So what does that look like? Yeah, so 1 more. Guess 2 more is tidier, but I'm not really planning on putting them in a chest as such. I've seen people play C Block. I find it's just Bobs and Angels, but you're stuck on a small island and limited resources being with. I have tried Pionodons. I find it more harder than Bobs and Angels. Yeah, I think it reaches a point of silliness, doesn't it, with something like Pionodon, where it's just complexity for complexity's sake. Because I think you have to filter everything out of the sea, basically, don't you? So it's an extra step to everything, which I guess people who play it, that's what they're after. But yeah, it does seem a bit sort of over the top from that point of view. So you need both red and green, don't you? Okay. So if this is, what rate would it need? So it would need 6.8. So it's still less than half of a yellow belt. So that's okay. Oops. Yeah. Right. So I guess it's just the same inserty outserty that I'm always doing, but other way around. No, that's fine. Okay. So this is here. But it's, well, red circuits are going to be further away, green circuits there. And then this also needs, that's 1 tile too many over. Oh, I put that in the wrong place. Like an idiot. Like an idiot. It needs to be 2 anyway, doesn't it? Yeah. In fact, if that... No, that's fine. This is wrong way around. No, that's fine. Input, output, yeah, okay. So this does need to be 2 as well. No? And it needs to be steel and stone brick. In fact, let's just check. Whoops. Six point six. So at... Oh, no, that's fine, okay. Yeah. Oh, I didn't have these in there. Right, what does that do to the numbers? So we do have 1 machine too many now. 1.2 machines too many, but that's fine, as I say. So, items a second. So it is ever so slightly too few red circuits. And then... So if we did put 3 machines, what would that look like? 6.5. 6.3, 3.5. Okay. Okay. So it's not a lot of overproduction of those, but that's fine. Okay. Let's just tidy up some belts. So this needs to be, what, steel and stone brick. So stone brick is, in theory, further away than the stone, than the thing, but I say, I may have completely messed up my things on that. So I've got steel and stone brick and red circuits for those guys. We've got green circuits and red circuits for those guys. We've got iron plate for the sticks. We've got steel and stone, 9 sticks. Okay. Right, let's do this bit. Filter inserter here. So that's going to be electric furnaces. Last time I tried Pyanodon, smelting metals was very inefficient at the start. 8 ore to get 1 metal plate. Wow. As you progressed through the tech tree, it got better. Eventually got to the point it was almost 1-to-1 ore to plate ratio. Ah, right. So it's one of those where you unlock more and more, you know, different recipes. I see. Yeah, so you unlock sort of more and more different ways of producing the same thing, or is it that you unlock different ways of sort of processing the ore? I guess probably both, because say Factorio 2, it does the whole. I mean, you don't have to do it, but it's more efficient where you process the oils basically, or process the ores before you smelt them. So I'm sure it's a combination of both. It gives you a different recipe and different ways of processing them. So I think my mindset's changed a bit really, because previously that would probably have annoyed me very much. So if we put that to, let's make it 100. No, 50 is probably better. But and I say that's why I don't. That's why I really quite took to Factorio 2 initially. But I think I'm a bit more open-minded. I don't know quite why. Perhaps just reaching a point where I played Factorio so much. There's not too many more things to do in vanilla. So I'm so keen on the whole. That's not the same, is it? Expansion, and I sort of jump on any news about the expansion because I just want more. Give me more, please. Right, let's put the lights on. I might test this one. I haven't tested the others because I'm fairly confident with them, but I think I might just do a little test on this one because I've done weird stuff that I wouldn't normally do. But I think it's probably not a bad idea, but so I wouldn't normally quite do this sort of arrangement. So yeah, so if we do if I blueprint it first, and then we can test it. So I hope that's okay. Which way around have I done that? I think I've done them like that. And then that would be 1. So, yep. Oh, I put a number 2 on that. That was a error. So that's, what does it call these? Production. Production. Basic. Factorio 2 was a bit of a learning curve for me at first, especially since I was used to Bobs and Angels. Oh, right, okay, so you did you went straight for Bobs and Angels, did you? Crikey. I'm not sure if he's here, but one of the other regulars, Bulge Belly, he launched a rocket, I think he said, in Factorio. In Bobs and Angels before he launched one in Vanilla Factorio. Which kind of blew my mind, really. So I think I'm more open to the idea now, but certainly I could never really understand at all why people would want. I mean, the game's complex enough, sort of thing. Adding in more complexity just seems like torturing yourself to some degree. So I think I get it a bit more now. Right, so yeah, let's set up a little, test on this to see if it runs, and I've connected everything. So I'll just do my silly little eater there, and then we want, where's the, no, duplicating chest, and that, so if I just copy that up a bunch. Boom, boom. Sounds like a laser going off there. So we want stone brick. Have I even got stone brick? Yes, I have. Stone brick. That's the only stone brick, isn't it? Yeah. And then steel. So steel there, and there. And then iron plate. And then stone. And then red. And green. I think those are all matched. Yeah, that looks good. Let's let that chug through. Oh. I didn't dive completely into Bobs and Angels at first. I downloaded a couple at first, and slowly added more as I went along. Oh, right, okay. So are you one of these people who plays with mods by default? That you basically rarely play vanilla sort of thing? Because I know there are some people who, they just almost assume you're supposed to mod it in a sense. I didn't really check that properly, did I? Is enough? Is that enough? Wait, items per second. Yeah, so a yellow belt should be okay. Half a yellow belt, rather. But we'll see if it actually works in practice. Okay. Oh, something wrong there. Oh, I moved it, didn't I? I moved it like a complete idiot. Alright, if we do that, that's a bit more even pattern-wise. They're going to absolutely, yeah, it'll take a while for them to empty because they fill up so quickly. Okay, so there's almost full belts coming out. Oh. Chuggity, chuggity, chuggity. Right, let's just wait for it to see. So this one up there, at the bottom, is now actually getting some rail. Question of whether it gets enough long term. The question is whether it gets enough long term. So it's getting up to 60, so we should be okay, I think. Obviously, these aren't doing anything because it's counting my inventory, so you know there'd probably be some being pinched off, I guess. What was I saying now? Oh, I guess it's not actually in a logistics network, is it? So if there was a logistics network, there, so yeah, there we go. So they're just going to steal some stuff to start with, but so we know that's working at least, so I don't need to bother with it doing that. But yeah, looks like it's working. Yeah, and as suspected, it is massively overproducing them. They're not really outputting all of them. The calculator lies. Cool. Okay, so let's tear this back up. I think what I'll do, I'll just put the blueprint automation. That, and then I'll just sort of pinch this, stick it on the end again. Wait, why is that not? Oh. Okay. Get rid of that. Redo this one. Has it got lights on? Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay, happy with that. We'll play vanilla from time to time, but there are still some base mods I really can't play without. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that. It's sort of, I wonder what decision process, in a sense, the you know, the developers go through, because there are quite a lot of things that I think a lot of players regard as, you know, can't do without type mods. You know, like what's an example? Squeak through and long reach and that sort of thing. So you know, but the devs must have a bit of a. I don't want clearing them off. It's irrelevant. You know, they have to have a dividing line somewhere, I guess, of like, well, you know, how much do we actually... What I can actually do. This is just copy and paste this because it's identical. You know, which ones do we put into vanilla and which ones don't we? And I know some of the what, quality... I hadn't realised this before, but some of the quality of life mods people, you know, swear by, as it were actually developed by the you know, the developers. So I can't remember what his name is, but you know, they're like unofficial official mods, if you see what I mean. I know the devs have made some other ones that are clearly slightly off the wall type of thing, but yeah, I hadn't realised that. It's like, which one is it? I'm not sure it's not Squeak Through. I can't remember now offhand, but some of the ones you see people using and, you know, swearing by, say, are made by the actual developers. But clearly they, at some point, decided not to include it in the base game. And it's sort of puzzling why. The weirdest one, to me, is always the... I know you're a big fan of the old Squeak Through, but the trees is what's weird on it. I mean, I sort of get the pipes, you know, that you can't, you know, walk past pipes. I sort of get that, because if you've ever seen, like, industrial... Well, so you're familiar with chemistry and stuff. Industrial scale pipes can be gigantic. So I And that's why I give you the underground, so you can walk through them. But say the fact that trees have a gigantic hitbox and still have a gigantic hitbox, I've never understood. Because I mean, alright, you get dense forests, but not to the extent that you can't fit between the trees, because trees don't grow that close, because then their roots would compete with each other, or be intertwined, as it were. So they don't grow that close. Very odd, that. Right, so we need to make yellow signs, and it's the same basic sort of ratio-y thing as purple. But now we need to make low-density structures, flying robot frames, and processing units. Now, there's an argument here that we could put low-density structures, like, make them... I mean, we definitely want to make all three... Well, processing units we're just going to make as a separate production area anyway, and they will be on the bus. But there's an argument, and I don't normally do this, but there's an argument, so blue's there, for like using these lanes for low-density structures and stuff like that, because they are used in quite a lot of stuff now. They didn't used to be, but they are now. So some of these higher level ones, for example, and particularly if we're going to have like a Spidertron production area eventually, then we're going to want quite a lot of low-density structures. But my thinking is because we would need to do those as researches. So the bot base, this one here, only gets us up to blue science, basically. So this that we've done so far, well, not so far, up to blue, is essentially a recreation of this base in bigger scale. So we could start killing, we would start once these are all done, we would just eat this and recycle it, basically. Because the intention isn't for this to be here forever. And reuse the space, essentially. But with purple and blue, you're in purple and yellow, purple and gold, you're into stuff that you would need to research properly. So you could potentially make the others and do the researches for purple and yellow before even stamping these down. So I say the question is whether I sort of put them on the bus. I'm tempted just to stick them in a chest, but to like way overproduce them and stick them in a chest and then bot any low density structures over, because I want to do the rockets as like an extension to the bus, so like adds on extra lanes to do the rockets, probably fed by additional train stops, sort of thing. It's not normally how I do it, but I think that's a better idea than just having a bus that's ridiculously wide to start with, because I often end up with a really, really long bus that doesn't have much going on the sides. So I'm sort of thinking, this is a bit more trimmed down. We need to make all of our, belts and all that sort of stuff, inserters and all the big volume stuff. But where I would usually then build, furnaces again, I'm overproducing them instead, sort of thing, and sticking them in a chest here, and that'll be so rail. I'm not going to build another rail build. This would just be where I build rail, which I say is not normally how I would do it. Script enjoy is same with tree collision, which shrinks the tree hitbox. And beacons, but better. Change the beacons so they look different, and you can walk over them. Oh right, okay. I mean, they are meant to be like the newer ones are meant to be inlaid, aren't they? I think that's the design, as in that is meant to be flat to the surface, so it would make sense that you could walk over them. But then equally, I suppose, if they're meant to be this high energy, high electricity, device, I suppose it wouldn't be safe to walk over them, is maybe the theory. I also thought, I don't know why I do, because it would be a lot of work, but I wish they'd redone the assembly machines, because everyone, well, you play with Alt on. So you can't really see this animation anyway. But they could easily have... I mean, I'm particularly inspired by these. I wanted them to do, you know, the way it puts the module on the actual thing, I really like. And I know you can get it to show it in alt mode as well. But I really like that. You know, that it's integrated into the design better. And if you think about it, this has, at the very least, this has got a flat surface here. So it could have, you know... I mean, I suppose it's more difficult with the 4, you know, the green machines with 4, you know, 4 module slots. But those could easily be, like, stuck on the side of the machine. So a bit like, you know, those being shown on the actual model. They could actually be stuck on the side of the machine. And it could be smaller. It doesn't have to be that big. I suppose there is a bit of a limit of being able to see it. But you could then have the actual, like the corner, could actually be the symbol of what it's making, just as part of the design. You know, so it doesn't overlap the animation. Because I quite like the animation. But you just can't see it when you've got alt mode on. And you don't want to play without alt mode, you know. So yeah, I just thought it was a bit of a shame they didn't redesign these. Especially since, because you've got... There is actually a bit of space here where you could fit it on. But, you know. Oh well. I guess it was just, you know, too much work basically to redo them. Right. I didn't like when they... Well, I did like, but I didn't like. They did like that octopus one that looked like a little... Or squid or something sat on a thing. I thought it was a cool design, but it was really busy for the... You know, it would have been too much. That'd have been too distracting. Anyway, blathering on. My usual hobby horses. So we need to make flying robot frames and low density structures. How many? How many do I actually want to make? So we want to make them. And flying robot frames. Obviously flying robot frames are like half a second or something silly, or is it? No, they're the really long ones. They're 20 seconds. Okay. Right, so rate-wise, in fact, I need to take that out, or it'll, oops, mess with the calculation. And then I guess these would end up having prod and a speed. Oops. And same here. So, how many are we short by? So it reckons another 11 machines for the flying robot range and a whopping 36. Okay. We're getting to the territory where I can't actually sustain it with the, you know, the bus that I've done. So that, is it twice that? Which I think actually I have to do two side by side, don't I? So that's over by only 1.5, but that's over by 7. Okay. So I don't want to overproduce it, because this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this is... I would then build usually a separate build where I'm making robots, but let's not do that. Let's either, you know, request to chest them over, or let's build the bots here as well, sort of thing. Is what I'm thinking. So 2.6 over for both of them. I think that's probably okay. How many have I actually got? I think it needs to be like 2 parallel builds. I'm actually thinking... Am I thinking that? Maybe I do something completely wacky. And this is in the middle. Because I wouldn't need to do anything extra with these. No. Miscounted that. But these I could, you know, I could do a split maybe or something like that. Now we can have the actual robots being made here. Yeah, let's try that. Oh, hello. Ankaroop. Welcome to the stream. I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Hank Baru, brother. Apologies, got your name wrong. Myra says, yeah, sort of wish they did change the assembly machine models. It's been like that for years. Yeah, I mean, I do understand. Saying I do like the animation. You know, I'm not saying, and I think they're a bit plain, if I'm honest. It works better for the assemblers, I think. The old, I think these just being, because they just glow, basically. Well, that fan rotates, doesn't it? This being a relatively simple, block sort of works better. But the assembly machines, I say, the difficult bit, or the bit I almost regret, is that I like this animation. It's sort of it also really works with the sound effect when it's running. It actually sounds like because the sound effect they have with it is very musical. It's very, it's a repeating pattern, obviously, but because it's a repeating animation, etc. But it has like a musical rhythm to it in a sense. It's difficult to explain, and it's very mechanical, and it actually sounds like almost like things being put into place, and screws being turned, and that is that sort of a sound effect, and the animation does suit that. I wonder if I could just get it to make something. If I just chuck them in there. Yeah, so, these, it's very Victorian, Rube Goldberg machine, which is, what the game's all about. But it's a really nice animation when you really look at it, because it's got alternating, like, camshafts and all that sort of thing. Or I think it is, anyway. But then you put alt mode on, which you can't do without, and you see absolutely none of it. And it's like, the bit I can see is just this flat, boring panel here. But, oh well. Right, so, how are we doing? Okay. Okay, am I just gonna... Just sort of move these up. Oops. Oops, if you get them in the right place, of course. If I didn't ask, I don't know. I hope you're having a good day, Eggborough. Did I copy and paste that? I did, didn't I? So, done copy and paste again. Why are you not? There you go. Do that. And that needs to go up one anyway. Like that. Because we need all sorts going in here. But we need 20 copper plate. I say, this gets into the territory of... I'm not sure. You have to... I mean, we'll build it at level 1, but I don't think it would actually sustain it. Just a level 1 belt can't really deliver enough stuff. But so we'll put it down with that to start with. And I say there's going to be options eventually that you could build it level 2 to start with and stuff. Or anyway. Oops. Right, and then this would be doubled up. Oh, it's not enough room. Okay. Let's chop that up there somewhere. But yeah, let's just check the maths again. Okay, so items per second. Yeah, so 34.5 is obviously more than 2 yellow belts can deliver. I say that's kind of the issue, but it is slightly overproduced anyway, and I think probably I'd be doing red belt anyway. But 8.6 is more than half a belt, although it's half, isn't it? So, in fact, let's do that. If I just do that one. Yeah, so that's more than a yellow belt, but those two would be okay. Okay, so if we half belt those two, which way round do I want to do it? I guess. Although, actually, saying that, if I did the copper on the outside, we'd be okay, wouldn't we? I mean, obviously we wouldn't, because that's going to be 6 lanes of copper, and I don't think I'll have. By the time it gets up here, we're not going to have 6 lanes of copper. But okay, this is what I'm saying about when you get to later points that I would add in. I want to do like almost like an annex, an extension of this, where it's even more smelting. So the idea is you would have. Normally, what I do is like one gigantic smelting array, and I say the bus is super duper wide. But I'm thinking, and then I end up with like nothing being built on this side. But I'm thinking instead we do like booster. So in other words, you'd have another set of smelting here, and it adds more in, and it's either extra belts or whatever. That's my new theory. Okay, so that would be there. Yeah, for the later version. Oh, okay, so yeah, I think that's okay. So if we set the first one up, so it would be input, say there, output. That one. Okay. You are. Oh, good. Glad to hear you're doing okay. So you, I assume you played the game? I don't know what your sort of, in a sense, experience level is. I like to sort of ask that because it's quite interesting to me, like, how much people have played, because you get all sorts of levels of experience. I'm most fascinated that people are sort of play for 500 hours but never launch a rocket, and then some of my regulars have only launched rockets in Bobs and Angels and things like that, and it's quite a mix of things. Oh, you playing now? Oh, cool. Right, and then if we do like that. So this needs to be, I guess. I'm starting to wonder maybe whether this really was 3 plastic to start with. If it is, that's going to be a pain in the bum. I mean, I guess I haven't actually used these at all, have I? But having the steel all the way over there would be not good. I wonder. Because we're going to need a lot of plastic to do, red circuits and stuff. So maybe I was thinking 3 plastic. We'll have to come back to that question though. So in theory, the plastic would be further away. So we'll put that at the top. Okay. And then we need that going across there. Which that's the output for, so that blends together because it's not a belt's worth, it just consumes it because it's so hungry, so hungry. So that's the output. So we then need more copper like that. And then we need what? We need this one again. Oops. That's a bit uneven of what I've done there, isn't it? It's okay. Okay. Right, so that would be copper again. Why are you all complaining about power? I guess we need an extra connecting power part, don't we? Okay. Right. So then that feeds. So they're not going to be in the initial version, but we need them later on. So then I think we have the yellow. And the question is, what do I connect to where? So we do need 3 low density structures, 2 processing units and 1 flying robot. Okay. So I think that's obviously the output. So that's the gold science there. I think maybe, do I move that and it still connects? Yeah. Because what we could do here is move this down 1. And then we'll split it onto the outsides. Maybe? How am I doing on time? So, normally stream 3 till 6 on a Sunday, or Saturday and Sunday. So there's only about 45 minutes left. So, should be able to get the gold science done. I then need to go and work away. I'm not going to do it on stream. I probably need to look back at the old stream because it was like a month ago when I did it last, and I don't know if this was an error. And it should be 2 steel and 1 plastic. Or it is meant to be 3 plastic. 3 plastic seems too much, but 1 plastic doesn't seem enough. It's certainly not enough to sustain this. In fact, I might be. In fact, it might be, now that I've built it all, what I could do is I could, because I need to do the upgrade versions, you know, the red belt, etc. versions. So I could take them all to the final form, so this version, and then see how much it actually demands. Because we could do that, basically. And then I can see what the items per second actually is, and build it accordingly. There you go, you see. So the items per second is only 8.6 for the plastic, but I never know whether this calculates, because I'm obviously not making the green and red circuits. So I don't think it, because obviously, you know, red requires green, you know, and plastic and whatever. So I don't think it does that double counting. So I might have to build the, you know, maybe just put in a temporary green circuit one to see what it does to the numbers. But say that's not even a belt of plastic, which seems weird. I don't know why. Why would it be so low? Yeah, it mustn't include the red circuits. 40 machines. Okay. Yeah, so what we can do, we can basically build out like the supporting stuff. 27 stone brick. And then I can work out how many lanes I actually need to support the science. And we can edit the bus design to accommodate that. Because this was just a guesstimate, basically. Okay. Right, yes, so let's finish this one off. So if that's the low density structures, then we want blue. That's a bit of a mess, isn't it? So we could do something a bit funky. And we could maybe have the So if that was actually... So if that's the flying robot frames coming in... then I could do something like that. It's a bit weird. Why not do... So if this was blue circuits... because I know this needs to be here, you see. I mean, we could just... Oops. How about that instead? Yeah. I can underground that. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. So I say, eventual flying robots frames there. And then... what do these need? These are complicated, but they're very, very slow. What do I need belts-wise? This has made me lazy, this. I would normally be working a lot of this out in my head. But then, I'd also then get a lot of it wrong. So, maybe it's not so bad that it's made me lazy. So we don't need, like, vast amounts of anything. So maybe we could sustain even more. So the idea being I'm then going to split them and actually make some of them into robots is my new theory. Whereas previously I would make an entire separate build. So if I'm splitting them, it sort of doesn't matter which way they're coming in. In and out. I think it's everything. I don't need any other production because I've put everything else on the... Oh, I need electric engines, don't I? Yeah, need electric engines. Okay. So that was wrong, what I said there. Yeah, and then we do a splitter. Yeah, okay. So, what do I want to put where? Steel, electric engines. I mean, don't electric engines use steel? Yeah, because in regular engines. I mean, can I get super funky with that? And they do also use circuits. So what I'm thinking is we can have both. We can have incoming this way. That's not really going to work, is it? Because I would need, yeah. So that needs to be there. I mean, we could make that a bit further up. Let me think. Or we just underground. That was there. That's annoying. Okay. What about there? So then that can go that way. Because I think I could put steel onto this belt already, so I don't actually need a feed up from there. I can just have a belt coming from the other one that is a combined electric engines. But which order am I going to do this in? Feels like actually it would be better if this was like further up and we build bots here. Yeah, I think I prefer that idea. Because it's starting to get a bit twisted up. So if we have... Because bots are just red and green circuits plus things, aren't they? Basically. Yeah, so that's red circuits. And the other guy is green circuits, isn't it? Yeah. Do I want to go nuts and have loads and loads of production of these? Because we need to stick them into a robo chest with logic. How do I want to do it? That work? Probably not. And I guess I could put them in a storage chest, couldn't I? As like a buffer, but also for when I'm building outposts or whatever. And we have, well, it doesn't really matter which way around it is, but red and green circuits coming from the bus. Does this need to be... No, so we can move that closer. And your construction bots. Okay. Can't put that in a position that it hits all of the inserters, which is annoying. Okay. Okay, we'll do that then. Put light in. I mean, I guess I should. I mean, self-promote it. I know not a lot of people care, but so tomorrow's stream, rounding out my weekend of streaming, is going to be the end of my Dyson Sphere program series. What are you missing? You're missing blue circuits, aren't you? So blue circuits need to come in there. And I will be completing my first Dyson Sphere. I know that's not a massive achievement. I'm sure lots of people have done that. But it's my first one. Oh, hello, Graham. It's no problem. I don't want you to feel like you need to turn up or anything. I mean, it's like... I love to see you, obviously, and have a chat, catch up with you, but so don't feel you need to turn up. Yeah, so I was just saying that. So tomorrow's, I'm doing okay. It's I don't quite understand what happens to Sundays. They just disappear. I don't know what's going on. Somebody seems to steal my Sundays, and I'm not impressed. But yeah, no, I'm doing well. Was fiddling about with... So tomorrow's stream, the Monday one, will be the end of the Dyson Sphere program series. So I'm basically fiddling about this morning, getting the solar sails to a point where they're producing enough stuff to actually work, as it were, to actually do that, and working out the maths on the, on the mission complete research. So yeah, both should finish. The only sort of hiccup may be that we could run out of stuff, so I may need to bolster up production. But even if we do, it won't be that far off. So you know, we should be able to add a bit in and get it finished. Satisfactory mega train base height. Well, I don't know about that. You seem to be convinced that I'm going to do a mega train base. I mean, what I'm actually going to... I mean, yes, Satisfactory will come back, but what I'll probably actually do, to be honest with you, is I'll probably do some... I may not stream on the Mondays. I may take a little break on the Mondays, because that was always like a bonus one that I did. It's just I obviously got carried away. But I may not stream on the Mondays. And what I'll probably do is I'll continue all 3 Factorio series rather than you know, start Satisfactory straight away, because I've got I'm going to an event, gaming event called WASD or WASD or however you're meant to pronounce it. Start of April, so there'll be like a break, and it'll come back after that basically. Rather than, I'm not going immediately straight into Satisfactory again, but I say I may do any streams. I may just take a little bit of a break from any streaming on one or both days. But yes, Satisfactory will return. I can't promise it'll be a train mega base. Convinced I'm trying to convince you. But yeah, I mean, the honest truth, you know, when I stopped it, it was mainly because I'd run up against, as you know, I'd run up against the aluminium thing where I was like, I don't even know how to do aluminium. I should go away and work it out. And I haven't gone away and work it out. So that's the other reason for a little break, in that I need to sit down and actually work out how that all works, because I just haven't done it basically. But yeah, so it'll flip round basically. So I'll do Satisfactory on Fridays and Mondays, and you know, Factorio will still be the weekends. But yeah, so DSP will stop until they release Combat. I was saying the other day that I'll probably literally finish the series, and then, you know, like on the 1st of April or something, they'll announce Combat, and it's like, well, that's a bit of a pain. But yeah, I mean, it's literally going to finish. In fact, I may not have enough to fill the 2 hours, because I've put down so many solar sail ejectors that it's like, it's almost silly. It's like half the planet is now, you know, solar sail ejector things. I've connected all that up, but I don't know what I need to put on each one. And this is also aligned with the blooming power light. Right, so what we need to make these is steel, batteries, green circuits, and electric engines. And I'm thinking that the electric engines, so that's actually cobblers, isn't it? Yeah, so that's why I was redoing that, so that we can just send them that way. Right. And now we can move this up and put that there. Right. Okay. And what we can do here is we can have a line that is the electric engines and steel. So the 2 we're missing are batteries and green circuits. Okay. I'm glad somebody knows what they're doing. Right. Okay. So green circuits would be first, wouldn't they? And then batteries. Batteries. No, that's not a battery, is it? Right. Oh, I didn't do the logic, did I? Okay. So if I do one of them and one of them, and then we want to read robot stats. Do we want to read the network contents as well? I don't think we need to. So this one only, in fact, shall I do, let's do the stack size of 1 as well. Because obviously bots are technically quite expensive, so... And we don't want to rob too much out of the yellow science production, so... We'll set all of these to a stack size of 1. Okay. Now, you need to read... You want to be connected to the circuit network. And what am I making here? This is construction bots. So construction bots is if... Oh no, it's Z. I always get this wrong. I'll just put it on for the time being. It's like Z and Y, isn't it? I could obviously change them. Available construction bots is Z. Available logistics bots is X. No, so that's X. And that is Z. So X is available logistics, Z is available construction. Z is available construction, X is available logistics. Okay, so only insert them if the number available goes below 50. Only insert them if the number available goes below 50. Okay, now these we want to be connected to the logistics network. Is that logistics? Yeah. And put them in the chest if it's less than 200. I say the chests are for when we have the orders, you know. Didn't put a filter on, did I? And that is less than... Is that construction bots? It's less than 200 as well. They're probably too low, those numbers, but... Cool. My alloys kind of fudged together. I'm kind of excited in Factorio at the moment. I'm doing a lazy B run, and I'm about to start using my new science builds, 90 science per minute, but on Mark II assemblers and yellow belts, so easily upgradable. Cool. Is that for the achievement? Because I mean, how are you doing with the achievements? You said I wasn't clear how many you had got and hadn't got. Is it sort of all of them, or is it just, you know, the odd one or two? Because lazy bleeper, as you say, it's a bit... I didn't actually find it that bad when I did it. I sort of just chugged my way through it. The key thing is the very beginning of the game. I'm sure you know. Don't need to tell you, but it's the very beginning of the game where basically you have to take your one assembler that you can hand make and just keep flipping the recipe. So you put it on iron sticks for a bit and run it, and then you flip it to cogs for a bit and you run it, and you flip it to, you know, green circuits for a bit. Oh, sorry, copper wires, and then green circuits, and da-da-da-da-da. And you can have them all set up. You can basically, obviously it would be wooden chests, but you can have the ingredients sort of sat there in a couple of chests sort of thing, and in and out. But basically that's always the key. You have to, at the very beginning of the beginning of the game, just use the one assembler and flip it over, and just build up a stockpile of, like, you know, 2 stacks of green circuits, 2 stacks of copper, and all that sort of stuff. Copper wire. And then you've got all the stuff you need to make a whole bunch of machines, and your jobs are good, and basically. But as you say, it helps out a lot having pre-prepared blueprints, I think. I mean, when, you know, this is why I'm doing this series. I didn't, so I was just improvising away. But yeah, once you've got a stack of them, you can set them making pipes and circuits, and it just becomes, you know, a normal run. Particularly, I don't think it lets you turn biters off, does it? But you can, of course, do the thing where, you know, put them at massive range, and, you know, you have massive ore patches, and you never even see them, sort of thing. I don't think they can be. I can't remember if they can be passive or not, but I say you can kind of, you know, new to them basically. Just trying to look and see if that's all done. think that's okay. Because this is going to get green circuits and yeah. So we need a build that provides both electric engines and steel onto this line. Okay. Oh, you can play with no biters on that, can you? Okay. That's maybe why I found it so easy, because I didn't have to worry about the biters. It's achievement the command you can use permissions, then turn off crafting after that. Oh yes, of course, yeah. I never bother with that because I didn't really worry. In fact, you can actually do it in the menu, I think, can't you? You can basically turn the hand crafting off. So for crafting after that, I need 2 million more green circuits and 100 kilowatts. Yeah, I think I learned about that afterwards, the permissions thing. But I think you can do it in the settings somewhere as well. Or you can set it... Yeah, I can't remember. There is some way of doing it, you know, without using the console command. But, you know, I mean, console command's easy, so it's not exactly a challenge. Right, as I say, we need a electric engine build. And we can... I have to say, this is the type of area where, you know, I should have come up with standard ways of doing it, because I've done this so many different ways over the years. And I say, I enjoy that process, that's why I've done it, but it's really inefficient. Say, the ultimate aim is to retry the mega base, you know. Redo, you know, have another go at a mega base. And say, having all of these blueprints ready to go is going to make that so much easier. So, if you're them two, your engine's looping green circuits. So if that came out that way, maybe? And then maybe this is... I say, what we can do like a split thing. Would it be there? Why have I done the... That should be going that... Oh, unless I single-sided. How many do I actually need? Didn't do the maths on these today. So, we're trying to feed that many. I need 10 more machines. Well, 9.5. Except... Oh, I can never remember whether I can get... Oh, I can get prods. Okay. Put them in. I was holding Z then, but I wasn't. Okay. Let's try that again. Okay, so... Okay. I guess this throws the ratios off, doesn't it? If I don't do them both as speed or prod. So would that even it up? Yeah, getting slightly more. Okay. Okay. Let's just put them there for the time being. How many was it? Still down by 2. Okay, so that slightly overproduces them. Not by much. And not by much. If I did swap that in, what does that end up looking like? Because they are relatively expensive for what they are. say, I don't think those match anymore, do they? So we're now 2.4 machines over. Alright. And 0.46 engines, so that's okay. Hang on. I thought it didn't match before. Oh no, it's slightly more. Okay. But it's not enough if it's like that, is it? No, it's slightly under. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, lad. Right. One of these was the wrong way around. That one. So that is some kind of input, but the output is this one. Oops, this one. Then, what does it look like there? So if that's... What am I thinking? It's a very good question. Oops. That's not a half thing, is it? Could do that. Yeah. So basically, the green engine, sorry, electric engines come out of here. We need to get lube in somehow. That's what she said. And then this is going to be steel and green engines. We've got a long-handed across there. And if that was lube, could I... No, I need somewhere to put that, don't I? But I could put power pole there and there. So the number of times I've done different designs. Don't play with Bison too. I just like the build aspect. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do. I mean, it's the bit I enjoy the most. I mean, you know, if you boiled this down to the basic elements, it's the sort of designing stuff. It's why, I mean, this whole series is of building the blueprints is basically because I've never done that. Every time I play, I'll build a new design. But I had a go at a mega base, and I spent like because when you're streaming, obviously you're chatting and it's slower and all that sort of stuff, and it took like 40 episodes before I even launched a rocket, because I was designing it each time. And there were like episodes where I completely, because I didn't have any, I didn't used to have any plan of how to go from this to that to the next bit, which is what I'm trying to come up with, you see. There were like 8 hours of me deconstructing the previous base. I say, I enjoy all of that stuff, but so if I'm going to have another go at Mega Base, which is the secret reason, it's not very secret. The secrets go, it's not very secret. But if I'm going to have another go at a Mega Base, then I kind of need to be able to get through the early... I mean, obviously I could just cheat it, and, make it with in creative mode or something like that. But I say I'd rather do it all the way through. But I do, you see, as some of the other guys would testify, as part of that designing, one of the things I really like building, I was wondering if I had them, but I don't think I do I? No, because that's a spoons run. I really love making like overcomplicated defences as well. So for me, playing with biters is just an excuse to build. It's like being a kid and building, toy forts effectively for me. Like a Lego fort or something like that. So I say, playing with biters gives me the opportunity to do that effectively, that side of it as well. But when I was doing the meg base, it just got ridiculous, and I eventually turned them off because it's just so much of exactly the same thing. Plus, you get to a point with behemoth biters where, and this is one of my little bugbears, that a behemoth biter can get hit by a train and survive, even if it doesn't matter how. I mean, once the train gets so big, it's like comical. It'll kill it, but they survive train hits. And so I was doing outposting in the mega base, and my trains were hitting behemoth biters. And there's no way, if you're doing outposts, by definition, your track is open to biters, so colonisation groups and all that sort of thing. And yes, artillery clears it and all that sort of stuff, but the colonisation groups, artillery doesn't attack them, it only attacks bases, so you're always going to get the odd biter walking through, no matter what. And obviously if you expand your borders and all that sort of stuff, you get attacks, and so you end up with trains getting hitting by behemoth biters and stopping, and then getting eaten by the biters, and it all just gets very tedious, because a destroyed train is just nothing other than an inconvenience at that point. What am I actually trying to do here? But yeah, so I fully understand why people play with them off. But for me, it's just an excuse to play with, play with some toy guns effectively and build a fort sort of thing. Gonna make a mistake a lot. I have a few failed attempts where I've randomly crafted some things. Oh, you mean the lazy bleeper? But just like for train sets with extra steps for me. Yeah, I don't know if you know. I mean, what's it called? One of the Factorio or former Factorio devs. I'm not actually sure. I'm not as familiar with this. Given how much I love the game, I'm not actually sure who's who sort of thing. But one of the Factorio devs is, obviously former. He's not at Wooby anymore, but is actually making a train. What's it called? Train Simulator. What's that game called? Really, really old. Probably before all of your time. But OpenTDD, like the I think it's called the train set. Train manager game basically. From back in the day. They're actually making that. They're making a train, building game basically. Very, very similar. Why have I put a steel power pole on? Very similar sort of style to Factorio itself. A bit less grungy, but yeah, it's like a train. Open, the transport tycoon. That's it. But yeah, he's basically making that. Now, I'm hoping, if I've not messed this up, is we can probably get the lube in here. Or, of course, down the bottom. In fact, bottom's going to be easier, isn't it? Because I'm not going to overlap with that. Oh, in fact, if I move that up, put that on the wrong side. Is this right? Because this is going to need steel. Yeah, so I need little, pipes and bogs production area. I think we're okay then. So maybe if I put that one up there, then it will connect across. Look at that. But yeah, it's worth checking out. I can't remember what the blooming thing's called, but why is that not in the right place? But yeah, say if you're into trains and why is that one offset? Then that's well worth checking out. I think it's being published by Team 17 as well. I'm not sure. Yeah, the Worms publisher. So yeah, that would be lube going in. Lube. Like so. You can tell I'm getting towards the end of the stream. I'm starting to go a little bit doolally. Right. I think we'll test this one as well. Probably just end on that. So this would be them there. Looking that one up later. So I could probably just have a quick butchers on my Twitter, because I follow the thing. They post a lot of script. It looks really, it does look like Factorio, but only trains. And as I understand it, it's going to be, you know, you use the trains to build up industry, and you're moving people about, so it's got, you know, population simulation in it and all that sort of stuff. I'll just get up on my Twitter, see if I can quickly find, because I basically like every tweet they do. Find my, hang on. It's called something you'd like you'd entirely expect it to be called. It's not like a complicated name. Oh no, what have I done there? Following. Is that the one? Yeah, it's called Sweet Transit, or at least the Twitter account is called Sweet Transit. Yeah, it's published by Team 17, and the website is Sweet. In fact, can't I put links, or is it entirely blocked? If I put a link to that, that one there. So if you want to check it out, it's that Sweet Transit. Trattoria. That's probably what I should have called it. Need to be very careful because it sounds very like Transport Fever. It could well be very similar to that, actually. Do I know Transport Fever? Probably. Fever. I should be on a commission for that. Yeah, actually, it probably is quite similar to Transport Fever. But it's more in the sort of Factorio style, I guess. But yeah, I think similar sort of idea. Obviously, I mean, I think it's fairly early in development, to be honest with you. I don't think it's coming out this year or anything. But yeah, it's sort of. Oh, no wonder it looks like Factorio. He was the 3D artist on Factorio. Yeah, I mean, I classify. To me, it looks like a bit like, I've mentioned this before. There's a game called Anno, or a game series called Anno that I really like. What have I done there? There we go. Yeah, it's a game series called Anno. Well, Anno 1800 is the latest one, and to me, it looks a bit like that, basically, with the houses and stuff. Yeah, it's worth taking a look at. I mean, as I say, it's not coming out anytime soon, I don't think. But now on your wish list. Yeah, so it's worth keeping an eye. I mean, it may turn out to be rubbish. You know, you never know. You never know with these things. But yeah, it's definitely, I say, seems to be trains. Right. So I just need one of my standard things. Don't you think? Can I just copy that? Not really, but. Let's sort of do that. Why did I put that in? We just put that. Where's the lining up point? There we go. Let's downgrade all that. Might as well just do it by hand. Whoops. Like that. And then pop them in instead. And this needs to be. But I mean, you know, I'll probably like give it a go. I mean, I tend to have more money than sense, so I'll probably end up buying it no matter what. But yeah, So that's worth taking a look at anyway. That's the wrong way round, isn't it? So that. Where could we put a light? Maybe it's just a light in the middle there. Oops. Okay, let's check the numbers. Did I haven't put any modules in or anything, have I? No, okay. So, what does this tell us? This tells us that... Let's put it on a net per minute. Oh, yeah, that's going to be way low because they're like half a second to build, aren't they? So, if I... Can't get rid of it. Okay. Oh, okay. So we know that's wrong, as it were. I could just copy and paste it out, but everything else is positive. Where are pipes? Did I not include the pipes? Oh, this is both. Okay. One of these needs to be pipes. Which it won't let me. Pod module. Okay, so let's try that again. Yeah, I'm gonna cut and paste this out because I don't want to lose the logic. I also don't want it to skew all the numbers. Right. So, none of those are negative, so that's good. We're over by 2.4, but then I know I'm going to need to be using them for legs and, you know, stuff like that, so I don't mind sticking them in a chest for that. And again, it's this thing where I'm, you know, trying to avoid making an entire production again for electric engines, so that's good. We've got that's being quite overproduced for the bots. Pipes and... So I could get away with one less machine each, but we'll just leave it, I think. Not too fussed about that. We are overproducing them, but not by a lot. And they are used in quite a lot of things nowadays. Do I want to add an extra... No, I think I'll leave it. Okay, right, so all the numbers work. So we'll pop this back on. Hopefully that's not killed any of that logic. Let's take this slot out. Let's tidy up any belts. Get rid of that bit. Nope. Nope. Now, tidy it up. That's all fine. That's good. Technically, I don't need that underground, but if we wanted to extend it, that's fine. Yeah, that up. I've not put the marker on there. Okay. So we want that there. Should really even them up, shouldn't I? But yeah, whatever. In fact, that's only 3, isn't it? So do that. I need to think about that because, say, there's not a lot of room for balancing, and I'm a big balancer. I like balancing everything. Okay. Do that. In fact, just leave that on there. That out. That can go. Yeah, I need to think about how I'm positioning some of them, but I can do that afterwards. Has everything got lights on? I think so. That's not got lights on, okay. No. Okay, right, let's blueprint that one then. to there. And that then is gold, blue, oops, and 1. Okay. So that's gold. So this is utility, basic. There we go. Super. Right, yes, so let's just test this. Oh, well, there's an error already. That should be iron plate. So let's redo it already. Down to there. Save that. Okay, yeah, so usually I just stream till 6, but I'm a bit rubbish for just always going over time anyway, so I guess I could talk through my self-promo-y bits. While I just test this. I stream weekends, basically, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Streams usually start at 3 for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Do Dice Sphere program at the moment. That's coming to an end. I shouldn't have taken that out. Tomorrow, where I will be building my first, or completing the build of my first ever Dice Sphere. Which say not that big an achievement, but in the grand scheme of things, but it's my first one, so I am happy. We're doing mission complete, and then I'll end it and say you're meant to then go mega base scale, but I don't see any point until. Oh, that's the output. So let's just do a bunch of void chests or something. But yeah, I'll pick that up again when they release. Well, I mean they may do other things, but when they do the combat, I'll pick that up as a new series. That's them two. That's green circuits. That's batteries. Steel green circuits. Oops. And I'm running several series of Factorio. There was another lesson I learned, a personal one, in the Mega Base stream. I'm playing Factorio 2, which I'm really enjoying. Why are you not making any... Oh, you're just waiting on stuff. Okay. There's this series, obviously, where I'm making some blueprints for myself. You're not doing anything because you've not got electric engines, because that's taken a while to chunk through. Okay. There's also a series I'm doing, Aesthetic Factorio, where I'm attempting to build like some attractive looking bases. That's got a bit stalled because I made a pig's ear of it, basically. I managed to get the biters evolved to such a degree that they're an absolute nightmare. So I need to go on a big extermination campaign. I guess I could start streaming that. I didn't think it was very entertaining, me just wiping out biters for... Oh, I didn't put these on, did I? Hour after hour after hour. I mean, we've got lots of toys to play with now, but... military ones, but I haven't really made any of them. Right, see how that does then. There's a matter source item in the creative menu that might be a bit easier. Which is that one then? Is it that one? I must admit, I've not really explored this mod properly. I just do whatever, because I'm not actually, I'm not actually fussed about this side of things. But I just sort of chuck things together the first time I did it, and then kind of just left it at that. What's that one called then? Matter source. Called matter source and matter void. Active. Oh, that one. Okay. When its filter is set, it's able to drop items on the transport belt, and its front or insert items into inventories. When no filter is set, it is in what? It is able to insert item stacks or fluids according to the target's current recipe. Oh, right, okay. Let's give that a go then. So I just, it's classic me, just clunking through it, basically. So what, you set that... Okay. Put that on there. Oh, I see. That's the two sides of the belt, is it? Ah, okay. Okay, cool. Know that for future reference then. Right. These don't seem to be coming through very quickly. Why is that? Is it just the whole... Oh, I guess that a lot of them are going in there, aren't they? Because this won't have... I'm just going to cut that off for the time being then. Are they all running at least? Yes. Okay. All the engines going? Yeah. Oh, why is there a second inserter there? That's not down on the original. Oh, it is, look. So there's an error there. Oh well. Just trying to make sure everyone's running, basically. Okay, how are we doing? So you've not quite got any robot frames yet. But you can't be far off. There we go. A matter of I can clear a belt without inserters. Ah, okay. Because what I was trying to do originally, I thought these generated things. Unless they do, and I'm just being... You see, that doesn't... I thought you put that there. And it generated them on the belt, but it doesn't. And so I was like, oh, right, well, how do I do that then? And I was just like, oh, this duplicating jest. Put that on. But if if that's how you're meant to do it... I say, it's always my problem. I work out one way to do it, and then I'll just repeat that endlessly rather than work out, is there a better way to do it? It's a habit I need to get out of, basically. But yeah, I think everyone is making yellow science. So call that a success, I think. I need to put the chests on, to store some stuff so the bots can move it around and all that sort of stuff. I'm actually wondering, I'll be totally honest, whether doing the yellow science second is the best idea, because if the idea of this base is that it picks up after this. You know, you can use this to research up to yellow and purple science. If you put purple on first, if you did purple first, then you'd need to keep this around longer because you still need bots, and this is the only place it's making bots. So actually, it might be better if it's yellow first, gold first, and then purple. And that way, you know, you're making the bots and you can just tear this apart once you've got yellow, and you don't have to worry about purple, you know, until after that. The reason that's a question is because obviously it's tied up with the power poles. Because I've just literally built them sequentially. I've not, you know, I've not said, right, I've not done it city block style or whatever, where it's, you know, this city block is making red, this is making green, this is making blue. So the power poles won't, you know, if I try and just switch them around now, the power poles won't match up. Okay, anyway, that's it for today, I think. That's what you did first with the loading box, yeah. Right, yes, so that's it for today. I will be back tomorrow, as I keep saying. Sorry if that's getting a bit tedious. But it is the end of that series, so if anyone wanted to pop by and just sort of see it finished, if you've never seen a, you know, completed Dyson Sphere, I'll be flying around it and stuff. Oh, I should put up my schedule, shouldn't I, just to finish off. Where's my schedule? Where's my schedule? There we go. And then all change next week, basically. So Satisfactory will eventually return, as I say, but not next week. What I'll probably do is I'll either not stream, if I'm honest, or we'll just do some of the Factorio series. Maybe this, maybe Aesthetic, maybe, you know, Crastorio, or I'll be mixing it up. But effectively for the next 2 weeks, is that right? Yeah, for the next 2 weeks it'll all be Factorio, all the time. Then I'm going into this event, so there won't be any streams. I may well not stream the week after either because I'm going to be incredibly busy. So maybe a 2-week hiatus, and then I'll be picking up. In fact, it may actually be my birthday then. No, it'll be Easter, won't it? Anyway, yeah, so that's the basic plan, but I'll update all this. It's just to say that if you wanted to catch up with this series or any of my other series, then I have a YouTube channel, and you can find all of the VODs there. There's this series, Mega Base series, my spoon run. What else have I done? Obviously the Satisfactory up to a point, my first Dyson Sphere playthroughs. There's all sorts of stuff on there if you wanted to catch up with those. Yeah, so if you have been watching, thanks for doing so. Hope you've enjoyed it and you might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Factorio. Thanks for watching. Cheers.